Paso City on this very day, June of 1976, when I first moved to Halifax from Amherst, Nova Scotia. Marty had the number one song. With that one, his sequel to his incredible hit about 16 years earlier, the phenomenal Marty Robbins at 1:38 on Mellow Country this afternoon. I know this lady in Nashville's a big Marty Robbins fan as well. Hi, Michelle.
Hello, Paul. Hi, everybody. What a voice, that Marty Robbins. There's just so many, great one-of-a-kind voices of that era of country music. That's beautiful.
And I hear he was a phenomenal entertainer on the Opry as well.
I'll bet he was.
Now, Michelle, have you ever played the Opry?
I have, yes. Wow, I have, Paul. What a privilege to be able to have said I have played there, and always look forward to any opportunity to stand on that stage.
And the big news about 5 days ago, it was released by your wonderful publicist, Debbie Wood, and the CCMA had a release as well last Tuesday, Michelle. Last year they had to catch up, and there were about 10 inductees into the Hall of Honor. This year, you're the only one, my friend. Congratulations.
Thank you. So cool. You and I were talking a bit off air, of course, for your listeners that may or may not know that you and I go back many, many years, and you've been a big part of my career, and just watching my first single come out, and then my second single, and then my album, and then my record deal in Nashville, and then my performances and awards and Jay Leno's and Academy of Country Music and things, Paul. You've been able to watch the whole thing along with me, and it's quite amazing. I have to tell you, I'm really soaking it in and really enjoying it. I'm so glad that I can pause and allow myself to do that, because this is very, very exciting for me.
And you're in the Hall of Honor, too, as some people call it the Hall of Fame now, but with artists, legendary artists like Anne Murray and Gordon Lightfoot and Ian Tyson and Dick Dameron and so many more. Yeah, just, when people start mentioning the other names that are in there, it's so, first I get this feeling in my heart that is just so amazing. And then I sort of step back and go, no way am I a part of something that those people that I looked up to so as a young person coming up and still do to this day. It's just really something, Paul. It's really something. Well, Michelle, there aren't too many country music weeks along the way that you or your wonderful manager, Brian Ferryman, have missed in the last 25 years.
Yeah.
And you've got to perform most times on the award show live, and that's quite a rush, isn't it?
Yes, Paul. I think it is definitely a rush, and it's also one of the most stressful things that an artist does, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I have to go live, and what if I make a mistake, or what if my bra is showing, or what if my oh gosh. So yes, I have, and I've had a lot of anxiety over those award shows, but they're fun, and that's what causes you to sort of build some character and builds you a little strength in your ability to perform on the spot, Well,
I don't have your touring dates in front of me while I think of it, Michelle, but I just heard that there's a Nova Scotia date coming up in a few weeks' time in later July. I think it's in Lockport, as a matter of fact.
Yes, I probably should try to look that up right now for us, but yeah, I am coming to Nova Scotia. The cool thing is that everybody can go right to my website and go to my... First off, I'd like to invite everybody to come and join me on Facebook. This is something I'm really having a fun time with. Talking every day I'm on Facebook, and me and the folks out there are having some conversation about something. And certainly any of my websites or anything like that, the dates will be on there. Mostly the personal website and the Facebook, but we are going to be in Lockport, Nova Scotia on the 30th of July. So, and you know what? We're coming as a trio.
Yes.
I'm coming as a three-piece, which is very different than, I've got a full band, many full band shows as well, but this particular show is myself, my keyboard player, and my guitar player. And it's just kind of cool, I think you came to our last acoustic show there, Paul, and that's something we've been doing, and it's just fun to be able to present the music that way.
Yeah, last October, Michelle, in the wonderful Schooner Room at the casino, you had the show with your buddies there, and great turnout that night. And as usual, I think you had a bit of a cold, but nobody knew it. You did great.
I did. You know, it's funny because I was watching the Shania Twain special on OWN. You know, I'm a big fan of hers, and I want her to do well. And I just am compassionate for, you know, my fellow artists and how they're doing and how life is treating them and so on. And she was talking about how her throat, of course, is closed up from sort of the stress of things in life and, you know, blah, blah, right? Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about that. When I go on tour, I have to watch myself a little bit that I don't get so anxious about. And when we had been there, we were just a few dates into the show. And
right.
I think I realized in watching Shania's show that, you know, maybe sometimes myself, I might deal with that a little bit, you know, and maybe I'm going to have to start thinking differently when I go out on tour, because the first few shows, there's just all this anxiety and this tension because you want it to be great, and maybe it's sort of having this reverse effect where it affects your vocal cords a little bit. So I think I might heed her what she taught me by watching that show and just relax a little bit more, not worry about things, just go have fun.
After 25 years or so, I know you can pull that off. I know you can do that. But Michelle,
well, you know, it's funny, Paul, because it still just matters so much to me that when I hit that stage that, you know, everybody's enjoying what I do, and I just don't take it for granted, you know, so still being the perfectionist that I am, I'll keep working. Always something to learn to improve about, eh?
Well, you're a consummate pro, Michelle, no doubt about that. I'm going to play one of your songs, Reaching for the Stars, and when I first met you at that country radio station, the only other song I had to play was the flip side of I Want to Count on You, and it was Reaching for the Stars when we first met about in 1985. Michelle?
Wow, that's well, Reaching for the Stars is a song that I Want to Count on You is my first single, and Reaching for the Stars was a song that I wrote when I was 20 years old, sitting in an old broken down hotel room in Muscatine, Iowa, my first week on the road, wondering if I could do this for a living. Could I make records? Could I get to Nashville? Could I be a Canadian singing star? You know, that was part of my dream, and I sat down and wrote this song.
Well, I'm glad, Michelle, you never stop reaching, and congratulations.
Thank you, Paul.
And all the best in September. If I can't be there in person, I'm there in spirit for you.
Big hug to you and the family and everybody. Thank you, folks out there, for your support through the years. And now I get to go into the Hall of Fame.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.